Okay, guys. Yeah, you see, yeah. Well, okay. I'm back again. Oak tree's back. Yeah, yada yada yada. The intro. If you watched today's earlier video, you'd have seen. Yes, I am double uploading. It's about Lamar Jackson, and well, I guess it's not really about Lamar Jackson. It's a It's more about his fanboy bandwagons. So many people, guys, like it's almost a bigger disease than the COVID-19. So many people have Lamar Jackson as this next great quarterback. He's going to win so many Super Bowls. He's going to be Tom Brady. He's going to be the GOAT. He's going to be so good. But what have we seen from him? He won an MVP. MVP. Yes, he did. He's just making me look stupid. Yes, he won an MVP. This is true. Yes, his team went 13-3. But I am not saying Lamar Jackson will not be a great quarterback. I'm saying that it is too soon to tell and that we need to see more from him before we can go out and say that he is this hot stuff next coming, that he's going to be super great. Because people were saying that about Johnny Manziel. Ironically enough, from the same division as him. People were saying Johnny Manziel was going to be this phenomenal quarterback. He was going to save the Browns, but then he didn't. Now, I will say, granted, Lamar Jackson actually has won games and got his team to the playoffs, and he's not having all the off-the-field issues Johnny Manziel had. But what I am saying is, he is in his he's going into his third year as a starter, his second full year as a starter for the Baltimore Ravens. And people are saying that he is a top 3 quarterback right now. Think about that. Like, he's not Patrick Mahomes. So don't come at me saying, oh, but Patrick Mahomes is considered the best quarterback in the NFL, and he's coming into his third year as a starter. Mahomes won a Super Bowl. And he's helped his team. I think his MVP was not well earned because was he the most valuable player on that team? No. That team won just fine when Mahomes went down. So I don't think Mahomes deserved his MVP. Like, I don't think Lamar Jackson deserved his MVP. Like, Lamar Jackson, it's too soon to tell. Patrick Mahomes has shown that he's going to be a good quarterback. But Lamar Jackson still needs to show more. Mahomes is making plays with his arm as much as he's making plays with his legs, which is what a quarterback needs to do. Quarterbacks need to make just as many plays with their arms. Actually, they need to make, in my opinion, twice as many plays with their arms as they do legs. Because they're a quarterback. If quarterbacks needed to run, then the running back would also throw. Like, the running back is already a position. Like, quarterbacks running is not the most important thing. If you came out and you put Tom Brady on that team would have won the Super Bowl. If you put Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, there are so many great quarterbacks that if you put them on that Ravens team, they would have won a Super Bowl. There are also a lot of subpar quarterbacks that if you put them on that team, maybe they don't go 13-3. But that team is good enough that with below average quarterbacks or average quarterbacks, that team is winning 10 games. That's why Lamar Jackson had, I think the number was like 10 other Pro Bowlers on that team. 10. 10 Pro Bowlers on a team, and you're going to call this kid an MVP? You're going to say this kid was more deserving of the MVP than some guy like Russell Wilson? Russell Wilson was one of 3 Pro Bowlers on that team. Shaq Griffin Bobby Wagner, and Russell Wilson, with Pete Carroll being the coach. That's three other players, two other players that went to the Pro Bowl from Seattle. And Shaq Griffin only went because Richard Sherman was selected and Sherman was in the Super Bowl. So that he only had one other guy that was selected to the Pro Bowl from around the field. Like, he was one of the first guys picked, and that was Bobby Wagner. And Russell Wilson still took the team to, what was it, 11 and 5, 12 and 4, one of those two numbers. I think it was 11 and 5. Is he as electrifying as Lamar Jackson? I think everyone in the league can say Lamar Jackson is the most electrifying player in the league. I will even comfortably say, hi, I'm H.R. Oaktree. Lamar Jackson is the most electrifying player in the NFL. But what these fanboys don't understand is that being electrifying does not mean that you are the best. It means that you are entertaining to watch. Ask Tom Brady, does a quarterback need to run to be great? No. Quarterbacks do not need to run. So I want every single fanboy of Lamar Jackson fanboy to shut up, saying that Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback in the NFL because he can run the ball. No. If quarterbacks needed to run the ball, there wouldn't be the position called the running back. Quarterbacks don't need to run the ball because there's a running back. Versatility is helpful in being good. Yes, it's good to be a versatile quarterback. It's helpful to be versatile. But just because you're versatile does not mean you're great. Like, do you hear what I'm coming from? That's just kind of how I feel about, like, this is the first part. That's just how I feel about the fanboys coming up with these stats. Oh, he's good. He's the best because he won MVP. He's the best because he's the best runner. So you want to tell Patrick Mahomes, who is, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL. You want to tell him that he's not better than Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson can run better? No, you don't. Because Patrick Mahomes can throw, too. Even he didn't have as much Pro Bowlers as Lamar Jackson. Like, do you hear where I'm coming from? Then this next point that I wanna make. He's not yet great because he can't win in the playoffs. Like, do you understand that? Do you understand how pivotal it is for a quarterback to win in the playoffs? He hasn't even won one playoff game. And I heard in some comments in another video that I was watching, so are you going to say that Blake Bortles is good because he won a playoff game? No, I'm not. Because Bortles was carried by his defense. But I'm not saying, like, what I'm saying is great quarterbacks win in the playoffs. You are not going to be great or the GOAT if you don't win in the playoffs. But winning in the playoffs does not automatically mean you're the GOAT. Theoretically, like, by the logic that these idiots want to have, Blake Bortles is better than Lamar Jackson. And that's not what I'm saying. By the logic these guys are trying to make, Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Lamar Jackson. Technically, Lamar Jackson's backup, Robert Griffin III, is better because he won a playoff game. He won a playoff game backing up Lamar. Do you see where I'm coming from? Like, honestly. And then there comes also the RG3 effect, and that is that you've got to make sure to protect your body as a mobile quarterback. Lamar Jackson doesn't do that. You know? And that's just, it's stupid how many fanboys say Lamar Jackson is great because he won MVP and because he can run. But they don't pay attention to things that actually matter, like winning in the playoffs. Ultimately, that's the only thing that matters in the NFL, is can you elevate your team to play well in the playoffs? And Lamar Jackson did not do that. He's too young. He's not a phenomenal leader. He's not a perfect leader. So he's not yet able to raise his team. You need to raise your team up in order to win in the playoffs. And you need to win in the playoffs in order to be a great quarterback. There are many quarterbacks, though, that are not great, that have won. But it's different. I'm not saying that every quarterback that won in the playoff is great. That every quarterback that has won a playoff game is great. That's not what I'm saying. What I am trying to convey is that in order to... It's kind of hard to say. Winning in the playoffs is not an automatic, you're great. However, not winning in the playoffs is an automatic, you're not great. You cannot be considered a great quarterback if you cannot win in the playoffs. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that there's all this hype around Lamar Jackson and how he's the best quarterback. But we need to see more from him throwing. We need to see him win some playoff games. And the fanboys need to understand the fact that he's not the best he's not the best passer in the league. He can't win playoff games, at least not yet. And that running the ball and having good ball carrier moves isn't what decides a quarterback is great. Maybe decides what a running back or a receiver is great, but it doesn't decide it for quarterbacks. They also need to understand that winning MVP doesn't mean they're great. Because not only are there a lot of players that won an MVP, but were not great, there's also a lot of players that won the MVP because you enjoyed watching them play. Like, do you understand? MVP, most valuable player. Was Lamar Jackson the most valuable player to his team? No. Was a guy like Russell Wilson the most valuable player for his team? Well, you can answer that question for me. Would Seattle have won 11 games without Russell Wilson? No. Would the Ravens have won? Well, the better question is, would Seattle have made the playoffs without Russell Wilson? No. Would the Ravens? Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to convey. Lamar Jackson's not the best. I'll give him top 5, but he's not the best quarterback. And that's what you guys need to understand, you stupid fanboys. He's not yet the best quarterback in the NFL. Feel free to be toxic to me in the comments all you want. I'm not saying he won't be good. I'm saying he is not the best in the NFL. He could get to be the best, but he's not yet. That's what I'm trying to say. So, with that out of the way, guys, I hope you enjoyed the double upload for today. The other video I uploaded today, down in the description, there's a link in the description to the Fantasy Football League and a link to KRO Preds, my brother's channel. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the double upload today. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.